Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the brand new announcement of the Christmas boxes. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so every year Games Workshop releases a bunch of massively anticipated Christmas Battleforces, and they just announced some of the boxes coming for Warhammer 40,000, so let's take a look at these bad boys. And we'll do some further follow-up videos breaking down the value inside these boxes, the actual composition, and just how viable they are as a starting force, as well as combined with like your typical combat patrols or some of the other common purchases to build up an army. So more often than not, these boxes are announced around like October, start to be shown off through the month, and we typically get a handful of them for Warhammer 40,000 and then also for Age of Sigmar as well. So we haven't actually seen the Age of Sigmar Battle Force boxes announced yet, but we do have the Warhammer 40,000 boxes, or at least some of them. Now this doesn't mean that these will be the only boxes, these are just the ones that were shown off officially by Games Workshop. So first we have the Imperial Knights Valourstrike Lance. So this box set has one of the big knights and then 4 of the armigers. And while we're not sure of the exact components of the kit, each of the armiger kits currently available from Games Workshop will build either of the 2 variants. So you can either have the 2 autocannons, or you can have the Melta-Lance and then also the Chainsword. You can typically build Canis Rex or any of the standard knight variants. Now it is possible that Games Workshop will not include all of the sprues in the set, but more likely than not they will. So if this is correct, you'll have the option to build either Canis Rex or any of the normal knight variants, which means you'll have some various selection options, and then also the points will vary. But this is roughly 1,000 points or half of an Imperial Knight's army. And with the codex not far behind, having been announced as one of the first 3 codexes in 2025, we can expect not only the codex release, new data cards, but also some dice coming as well, and then potentially a new datasheet or character, maybe even a new knight kit altogether. So really nice box set, and definitely a nice jumping off point for Imperial Knights armies out there. These tend to be extremely popular as Games Workshop does not often discount Imperial Knights or Chaos Knights. And in the past, these box sets have sold out extremely quickly. So if you are excited about the Knights box set, definitely get them on pre-order with your local store, or make sure that you're in line to pick them up when they do go up for pre-order. And then next we have another Adepta Sororitas box. This time it is the Penitent Crusade Host. So this one leans in heavily on like the penitent aspect of the Adepta Sororitas. This one is not nearly as many points as your rhinos are like pretty cheap transports, but you're going to get 2 of those. You're also going to get 2 of the engines, which you can build with a couple different options, either the mortifier engines or your standard penitent engines. And then you're also going to get 1 squad of Sisters Repentia with the Repentia Superior, and then also a squad of Arcoflagellants. So this one is definitely a little bit more on the specialized side for the Adepta Sororitas. Obviously leaning in very heavy on like the penitent aspect, sort of like the body horror. There is a detachment specifically that works well with this, the Penitent Host. It's very melee focused, definitely fast. And while it is a nice box set for those that are specifically interested in it, it's definitely much more specialized, and therefore it's going to appeal to a lot less people. But very nice box set nonetheless. And then moving on from there, we have the Necrons Hypercrypt Legion. So this one has a very nice centerpiece model in the Catan Shard, the Void Dragon. One of my favorite models from the Necron range. Absolutely beautiful, definitely an awesome centerpiece. It also has 10 Necron Warriors, which is also going to include 3 of the Scarab Swarms. And then you have 2 squads of 5 Lich Guard, or also can be built as the Praetorians as shown in the picture. And then we also have 1 Overlord with the Translocation Shroud. So again, pretty nice box set right here. It's not your typical like meta Necron army, as it's like very much different from what you typically see on the tabletop for more competitive players. But it is a nice Necron force. It would go along nicely with the combat patrol as well. And definitely is going to look good on the tabletop. Again, Necrons are fairly popular. It definitely includes a really nice centerpiece model, which is always great to see from these box sets. And a nice overall starting or expansion force for the Necrons. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch, and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. And then next for the TOA Empire, we have the Retaliation Cadre. So this one definitely leans in heavy on the battlesuits, which is awesome. I am definitely a big fan of the actual TOA battlesuits. They're some of the best models in Games Workshop's range, and definitely the direction that I like the most for the TOA Empire. especially with the new Vespids coming out for the TOA Empire as some utility pieces that work well alongside your battlesuits that are much more for the killing. And then also this will go along well with the TOA Combat Patrol. So you're going to get one of the Riptide battlesuits, which is going to do the majority of your killing. You're going to get one of the Ghost Kill battlesuits, which is a very nice game piece because it's hard for your opponent to interact with it. And then again, it's also doing some decent killing. And then you have one Broadside battlesuit, which is great for sitting back and taking out some big armor. And then this army is led by the commander as well, and that commander can be built as any of the various commanders in the set. It does have a bunch of drones included as well that go along with all of the various battlesuits. And while this one doesn't have a ton of models in the set, it's definitely really nice, as the majority of TOA lists right now that you see are going to be using multiple Riptides or stealth suits. So not only is this a nice box set to go alongside the Combat Patrol or your existing TOA force, but I think it's very viable that you could pick up a couple of these box sets and have the majority of a nice TOA army that would perform well on the tabletop, look absolutely awesome, and definitely be fun to play. So very, very nice battle force for the TOA Empire. And then last but not least, for the Dark Angels, we have the Inner Circle Task Force. So this box set is absolutely phenomenal. I'm definitely a big fan of this. Not only are all of the models some of the newer stuff that was released by Games Workshop, but this would actually perform extremely well on the tabletop. You could easily put this alongside of the Combat Patrol, a starting force composed of the Leviathan Space Marines, and it's a really nice jumping off point for any Dark Angels players out there, or an expansion force for anybody looking to get into Dark Angels. So you're going to get 2 squads of 5 Deathwing Knights, which are absolutely phenomenal on the tabletop. You also have a chaplain in Terminator armor, which is extremely good as well. And then you have 2 squads of 3 Inner Circle companions, or you could form them into a single squad of 6 as you typically see on the tabletop. Again, absolutely beautiful models and excellent in gameplay. And then to top it all off, once again, we have a beautiful centerpiece model in Lionel Johnson, the Primarch of the Dark Angels. So this is an absolutely phenomenal box set. I expect this to be extremely popular. Obviously, Space Marines are the most popular faction in Warhammer 40,000. Dark Angels have an awesome look and feel to them. The lore is amazing. And then including the Primarch to lead off the army is absolutely awesome as well. So while Lionel Johnson isn't necessarily the most competitive choice, we do often see him in lists that do extremely well. And realistically, for the majority of competitive lists in Warhammer 40,000 in the recent meta, almost all of these models are going to be included. Now, sometimes you'll see the Lion left out for another squad of Deathwing Knights, but I think just as often you see all of these units included. And this is about 1,000 points of Dark Angels, so once again, about a half of your typical army. And I think this box is absolutely phenomenal. I'm definitely going to be picking up this bad boy. So we know there's going to be some more Christmas boxes coming out. There may be more for Warhammer 40,000, but I think more likely than not, they've shown off what's going to be coming out for them. And then also we should have a bunch of Battleforce boxes coming for Age of Sigmar as well. So I'll keep you guys posted on them. And then we'll also do some individual breakdowns of the battle forces, how they pair up with the various combat patrols, or some of the other boxes like Leviathan sets, for people looking to get into a specific army or expand out on an existing army. We'll break down the value inside these box sets, we'll break down the points inside the box sets, and what other important units I think you should include if you're looking to start or expand on one of these armies. So let me know what you think of the initial announcements of the Christmas box sets, which ones you're specifically excited about, down in the comments sections. Always like to hear back from you guys. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.